Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Zwift Racing League. We're into round number 3 of the 2023-24 season, and this is race number 3, and it's a TTT day. We've got the data, we've got the racing, we've got people putting out big monster watts and RGV today. If you guys knew in pre-production how close we cut things sometimes, I cannot believe what I just saw. Like, that was absolutely crazy, Dave. Seriously, I absolutely love it. But we're jumping right down into the racing. Let's go ahead and do so, as we do have for us right now out on course. This is going to be the Zwift Racing League Open EMA Southern 1 with the C category. I'm going to make this reading as hard as I possibly can for Dave, it looks like, with how small our text is here. I'll see if I can help you out there a little more, Dave. I did notice, like, when we first got going here. But Rue Riders, they're having a good one so far. It looks like C2 team out there with a solid... I can also send you a link probably to this, Dave, just as a heads up. With a pretty solid time so far. Are you good? Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about me. I'm excited, Nathan. First off, welcome, everybody. Good to see you, Nathan. RGV, Route Grand Vitesse. I see a name that is really giving me a flashback. How many times, Nathan, through the last 4 years have I mentioned, the Soviet, the Italian team time trial teams from the 70s and 80s? Well, there's a really unique name in this C group. Artem Baranov, racing for the MTB training team. Baranov, I don't know if he's related to Yuri Baranov, who was the Olympic gold medal winner in 1980 at the Moscow Games. I'm curious. I'm sure there's plenty of Baranovs in Russia these days. It was the Soviet Union then, so obviously being aware of those changes. But Kashirin, Baranov, Logovin, and Sukruchenkov were the 4 that rode a 2-hour 100K team time trial back there in Moscow. But this is Nesterov, a Russian-sounding name, but a German rider, I believe.
Look at all the German flag, like literally one straight row of Germans. R2, 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 tons of R2 Rue riders, and then an Austrian. Like right after that, which is Dominic there.
Token Austrian.
Yeah, right. I'm liking it. Oh, and it looks like we're getting a little bit of a dropout there from one of the riders. Too bad to see that. On and off here, it looks like, for the pickup on them. But this is currently your series leaders. Actually, Dave, as we get, we'll get an update here on this in just a second when it comes to the current timings. Let's just go ahead and chat about how this has been going between. I mean, it's kind of the German domination, it looks like here.
Ruhr Riders, C2 team and C2.1 team. So, yeah, you can see that actually, Nathan, they've been first and second, both teams for both races, meaning Ruhr Riders have taken the gold in week 1 and week 2. This is the third of 6 weeks of racing that makes up this season. So our team time trial right here at the middle point. But, yeah, Germans crushing it, Nathan, no doubt. It's actually fascinating. It looks like if you do the math that Sisu would have to have 2/3 then. So they've consistently been on the podium there. That's the Sisu Racing Haru team there. This is the C's that we're looking at, and that's who we're going to focus on for most of the day here today. We might have a chance, as Nathan was alluding to during yesterday's broadcast, to check in with the A's a little bit because there's some really dynamic racing happening across the ZRL now. But let's keep working down now because then we get into the mix here. So the Dinos Hot Peppers, they're sitting in 4th, Watt Fabric, Watt Lucher in 5th, MTB Training, that's the team of Baranov and the Russians that I was talking about, sitting in 6th, Bikes France team Cannibal in 7th there, Arcadex Racer D in 8th, then Wahoo Lacole Backstreet Badgers. That sounds dangerous, and you don't want to run across a badger on a back street or alley. All right, so back in. So this is going to be our top team, isn't it, Nathan? Is this Ruhr Riders 2? I believe. Is it?
I have a feeling this is that's a good question. C2-1 team is currently at a 17:37. And then we've got, that's a tough question, actually. Close. They went out first, though. This team went out first. And what kit are they in is going to be the big question, I think, there. It's going to tell us a lot because I have a feeling if I get a full screen of this, and we'll go ahead and do that real quickly, it's going to give us a better idea. I think looking at the differences in the kit, I get the sense that perhaps I don't even know. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you, Dave. It's tough for me to
right. And
tell the
actually,
difference between them.
it is going to be a tough one here because I was thinking that R2 might designate the two, but it doesn't. A lot of the riders are using that here. So, well, they've got a program with some real depth as well, this German squad. As we take a look today, let's talk about the course quickly. Nathan, it's as straight ahead as they come, to tell you the truth. 25K, Route Grand Vitesse, the Aqueduct. Really the only feature. It's a little rolly as you come back into town. Not too punchy, though, and certainly not anything that will overly challenge our team time trial squads as they'll look to keep the precision like we're seeing right now. Here from the German squad, Clef Schwartz, Dildrup, Philip, and Nesterov.
Yeah, let's see if we can move back just a little bit here. We'll see if we can find some of the other. Yeah, we do have some images actually of the other R2 team actually here coming on through, as it's going to be the Snail, Andy, Silver, and a few others. Not going to have, I don't think, a friends list nearby on this one, though. But they are being chased down. And then behind here, we do have rider nearby list on this other feed. So this is going to be the R2. I think they started second, actually. Because, okay, that's how we can know here. The C2 team, and then there's the C2.1 team. And I think the one starting second would be the C2.1. So not a whole lot of differentiation between the two there to find the difference between them.
So I thought that this is going to become the theater of the absurd, but I thought that the C2.1 team, Nathan, was the top team. But you're right. It's C2 and C2.1. That makes sense now. So, all right, I'm getting the coding down.
And so C2.1 started second, and they're currently in fifth place. There we go, everybody. Right. We figured it out. This German squad
should be no problem.
I mean, this is how you get featured. This is how you really get featured on the broadcast, is you just make sure that you have a lot of different symbols that we have to decipher. I mean, I got my Rosetta Stone out here. I think I've got it.
All right, so let's take a look at how, well, I was going to say we could start evaluating the splits. We'll let a little more data settle in at this point because they're well into this one, Nathan. 18.1K into 25K total of racing. So they would have already gone over the Aqueduct. When you're ready, I've got some Aqueduct facts for you, by the way.
Go for it. Let's hear all about them.
Well, did you know that there actually are aqueducts that were built during the Roman Empire times that are still operating? Like the Trevi Fountain in Rome is run off of an aqueduct that was built 2,400 years ago, something like that.
Wow. No, I had no idea.
To think infrastructure. We can't, in my condo here, we're lucky to get pipes that last through 10 years, so I don't know how they pulled off that, thousands and thousands of years, just solid engineering. Sisu, now I'll be back with more aqueduct facts, don't worry, people, but Sisu racing here, they need to work this out. A little bit of a split happening. That's sub-ideal, Nathan, but nothing that can't be fixed.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a push off the front here coming from Dominic, it looked like. I see Mark there also sitting on the wheel. They are able to pull these four back. I think that was over the top of the aqueduct, actually, as we were just talking about it, that happened. Now they are able to pull things back together. Nicely done there by Sisu with 6 riders. It's a really well done job. Back down with the dynos, though. This is going to be Adams. It's going to be Carling, as well as McPhee, Emsley, and Chandler. A couple more here. Jay Dinos and Colby. No, Colby's from R2. Been dropped off, actually. But this is the back of the pack here for the Dinos. We'll see if we can get some more information on them. They're currently sitting, though, in 4th place right now and 4th place in the overall standings for this league. They've got a solid time of 17:31 at the, what is our time checkers here? 12-kilometer marker at the 18, I believe it is, or is that 16? I'll have to really get my squinting on here. We're looking at 25:47, 26:24, 26:31. Looks like they've actually moved up a spot here, coming through that 18-kilometer marker just now.
Well, actually, Nathan, if you look at it, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are very close right now as they come through that 3rd and final check before the finish. I'm thinking that's 18K that we're looking at there.
Yeah, and it came through immediately, actually, which is really good to see.
Ruhr Riders, fastest team. I'm just going to call them Ruhr Riders and then Ruhr Riders 2. That'll probably be the easiest way to do this. So the difference there, enough that the Ruhr Riders got to be feeling pretty good, but Ruhr Riders, the second squad, Nathan, right now only has a 7-second advantage over the Dinos, the Hot Peppers edition there, and Sisu Racing Haru only another 6 seconds behind them. So there's a lot in play there. Precision is going to be critical. It's not flat on the way back here over the next 7K, but there's not a lot of terrain to work with. You can see it pitches up right here as they come through underneath that sprint truss, but this is the Watt Fabric team that we're looking at, and boy, they just put a really nice time up there. They're within 3 seconds of second place there. So they are charging now, is Watt Fabric here, the team that we've got on screen.
Nicely done by Watt Fabric.
4 riders left, Nathan.
Yeah, only. So, did they start with 4, though? How many did they start with? I'm looking through here, and they started with 5. So they dropped 1 off so far. 1 rider so far. We're in with Maze here. It's got a little bit of a kick left in his energy bar, it looks like. Currently 167, spinning to win at about 100 RPMs.
So theoretically, that bar would be completely empty when you finish. He's got a fair amount of gas in the tank, to use a different analogy there at this point. So let's see what they can pull off. Now, this Watt Fabric team sitting in 3rd, it's maybe a stretch for them to find the top step of the podium, but 2nd place definitely within striking distance. These guys are in solid formation right now. So let's watch and see what they can pull off out here. It's going to be really, really interesting over the next 6K. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt either way, no doubt about it. So why not just put the accelerator down on the floor? What that's a rider coming out of a team earlier.
Yeah, R2 dropped a rider, actually, one of the other German squads. Watt Fabric, though, I'm impressed by this ride. Starting with 5, dropped off 1, 27:48 total time so far. 26:27 though was the time. I mean, 2nd place, like you said, is within striking distance, and with only 4 riders left, it's going to be quite the challenge. But big day for them here, because they are currently sat what seems to be in 5th place. This could be a good jump for them if they can grab that 2nd. They need some motivation, though. Bring on some big watts at the end here.
Yeah, this is such a unique day in the ZRL, as the team time trialing is not something that every team has really been well drilled at. There's events that happen on Thursdays, WTRL. I believe, Nathan, I saw that they went over 250 now consecutive Thursdays of racing for the World Tactical Racing League. Martin and his team do an incredible job with that. Now, that his team is mostly made up of dogs up there in Canada, I believe. Anyway, so but this right now, team time trialing, which is such a unique discipline, and to be honest, in real life racing, you don't really see that much of it, but it became a real an element of esports racing that's tremendously popular. We talk so much about how awesome this community is, and a big part of this community was really built on what team time trialing was about, the being reliable, being there for your teammates, the shared glory in these efforts, just like we're seeing from the Russian squad right now. Nitsevich is the rider that we've got up on screen, but this is an all-Russian team that we're looking at now. And actually, it looks like 4 less. Gavrilov is here. I thought I saw, excuse me, so this is going to be, is it 4 or 5? It is 4 that we've got here for the Russians now.
Yeah, I can back out a little bit here. There you go. There's 4. The French flag is the same colors, just another direction. So
just going another, yeah, right.
Yeah, so a little bit difficult to make it happen, but there they are. Here's our 4 Russians, 189 beats per minute, the highest heart rate right now, coming from Gavrilov, as he is on the front still, actually driving this pace for the MTB training crew. Nice to hear. Now, is there only one of them on? Artem Baranov is the one who is on the mountain bike there, it looks like, as they are very specific to MTB training, as it says in the name.
Nikolai using the ghost power-up in real life on his icon there. We can just imagine. So this team, though, I'm interested. I always love seeing nations that have a history with that. And they've got some
Got some work to
ground
do.
to
They
gain.
got some
It
work
looks
to
like,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks like maybe falling behind just a little bit. They came in at sixth place today, though, so they're actually France are getting the better of them. It looks like out here, as it's going to be Demi, Polander, Sanitas, and Torres. Torres is here as well, still with 5. It looks like. How many did they start with over on this crew for France? Bike France is starting in with 6, it looks like. So they did drop one off here, just trying to hang on. There is only at 139 beats per minute, though. I have a feeling perhaps going to make it happen. A little bit of a punch there. Nicely done. Oh, but look, there's a gap. Torres.
Right. Oh. And unfortunately, they can't just continue on the 3 here, as they are down to 5K to go, but the time is going to be taken off of the second group here. It's the 4th rider's front wheel that stops the clock at the finish line. So they'll get that fixed here. What's interesting to me, Nathan, if you look at it, it's not even a minute and a half separating the top team from 8th place out here. That's not that large of a window out there. Just saying, this is a really competitive C field that we're looking at. As everybody now into their finale, this is where it really, really hurts. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel. And that's been a huge pull that we were just watching by a couple of riders out here. And I don't know, Nathan, when you talk about tactics and strategy, the thing for the stronger riders is you don't go faster, you take a longer pull. But in general, snappy, fast, hit the front, keep the speed high. Definitely don't let the speed drop. That's the name of the game. And then get off and let somebody else do the same. Wash, rinse, repeat at a rapid rate usually is the successful technique out here.
100%. You know, it's interesting. The techniques there's been some experimentation going on actually with some new techniques, and we're still trying to get all the numbers straight. But I have heard of some new tactics being developed coming out of the ladies' Riot team, Saris, over there, and it was something that OMG had tried way back in the day prior to the CDA changes that have happened recently with pack dynamics, in the way that you can get a CDA decrease by punching 20% more watts over the last 10 seconds, over your last 10 seconds, essentially. So we're not sure if it's an average or if it's like an exact, like 10 seconds ago. We're still trying to figure that one out, but people were trying to manipulate that CDA decrease to like get a min max on that. Like, how much can we maximize that gain by punching 20% over on the front continually as often as possible? It's a really interesting take on that new dynamic. And the other big question there is, does it work on TT bikes? Well, the theory is you get a CDA decrease by putting out 20% more watts.
So just to explain in layman's terms, CDA is how aerodynamic you are.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. It's how they're. Okay, it's essentially how much is the drag? What's the coefficient drag?
So you're saying that when you put out how many more watts?
20% more. 20% more watts, and you are not drafting. You have to not be drafting. It's in order to encourage. The reason that it happened was to encourage breakaways to succeed. Essentially. That was the idea, that the packs were catching people too easily and too often.
So to reward someone who's willing to put out power with their nose in the wind, that was the adjustment that was made.
That was the idea. And kind of like the idea that you're getting really aero on the front, too. Like you're going to tuck down in and put some extra power out.
Right. I'm just trying to explain this in a way that everyone could understand, right? So when you go to the front in your team time trial team, you're going to apply more power, which then the game then is allowing you to be a little bit more aerodynamic, which means you're going to be a little bit faster. So this is just understanding the gameplay there.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It seems to work.
Yeah,
right.
And I actually asked some questions about it, and it doesn't stack, so it's not like you can do it in 1 10-second and then in another 10 seconds try and get it again at a higher rate or something, right? Like you only get a straight line, like a base 5% is what you get CDA decrease. But it's interesting that if you were able to like time it correctly over and over again, you could essentially over and over again make sure that the rider you have on the front is always gaining that advantage? Because like depending on how they ramped up wattage, or if you were swapping the rider on the front over and over again. We got a little bit of push here from me off the front. A little bit of a gap here from the Bike France rider. But anyways, what do you think about that, Dave? This is something we're thinking about testing, but it's tough because every Thursday is when you get a chance to test, and then every couple of ZRLs, and you don't really want to put it on the line in a ZRL race.
Right. Well, I mean, it's really interesting for sure. And it shows you this, just speaking to the pictures right now, because we've got plenty of time to talk about that today. But this is kind of, Nathan, what I'd be worried would happen when you're doing that, is that if you have a rider, so you'd have to really communicate well and have a good understanding. And I mean, this is going to be a very pro level technique that you're talking about. But assuming everything that you said is true, and this is what happens now, a little bit of the overcorrection as that rider who is off, but now they're getting it all back in line here for the Bikes France team, which is good to see because they only have 1.4K to go. But yeah, it seems like, I mean, going back to what started that conversation, I was talking about rotating your riders off of the front pretty quickly. Get up there, keep the speed high, pull for 20 seconds and rotate off. Now, other teams, and factoring in that some riders, if they're much stronger, will take much longer pulls. But applying that though, Nathan, if you're coming through for 20 seconds and this technique works for 10 seconds, with the right rotation, you could spend a third to half of the time with a reduced CDA. And again,
here's the thing is if you were to do a slow ramp as your pull for like 30 seconds to a minute, and every 10 seconds you increase by 20 watts, that's also kind of an interesting thing. But would you be going too slow up front? But how much energy would you reserve, and would it get you fast enough? I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that you could try this, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't think that would work though.
Yeah,
to tell you the truth,
because you got to be putting out like 400 watts on the front in an A category, and you just need 400 watts right now, so.
And this is
we need an engineer. We need somebody who can put together a graph and be like, here's all the places that you can find exactly those. Because somebody will do it. You put this out there enough, somebody's going to put that together and be like, well, if you can accomplish this, here's where you will get the most speed out of the power you put down.
The thing about team time trialing is there's not a whole lot of tactic or creativity in this. Really, it's about precision and effort. You can't fool Mother Nature, as they say. But the thing that's different in this case is the gamification that Zwift brings to the table. Right? If you were talking about that technique, Nathan, for in real life, that'd be laughable because you're not going to become more aerodynamic. But in this situation, absolutely, that completely makes sense. So now that's part of what's fun about Zwift, is figuring out how you can use that to your advantage. These guys are down to 1K to go here. The Swedes, it's just really hard to hold that precision all the way to the line. They've done a really good job. They've got 5 riders. In a perfect world now, in a highly, highly coached team, one rider would sacrifice themselves here, as taking a long, hard pull, but blowing yourself up so much so that you can't even stay with the other 4. That's okay, because you won't have to be part of getting the time taken, but you are part of the team. But that's a pretty high-level technique as well to pull off.
100%. Well, it does look like, Dave, when it comes to the results on this one, Arcadix Racer D, can they pull this off? It's 36-37 right now. They're trying to get the better of the MTB Training Masters. This is for 7th and 8th place. So far, Rue Rider C2 team, they have taken it down in this C category. Nicely done. Rue Rider C2 won there for that second so far. Down on his Hot Peppers, but a nice little push to the front. Now from Svensson, Johansson, Lejeune, and it's going to be Eldelid. That's going to be your 4 across the line. Nicely done little kick. And as they finish up, we'll get your results here for this C category. Finished up. There it is. And we'll be jumping down in with our next event here in just a second. We did see the comments coming through. We'll go take a look at the current A category as well. I'm hearing that things have been absolutely insane at the top end here with the A category. 30-22 from SD Gamir. Dragons there from the Subweds with the Wizards at 30-33.
Only 11 seconds. Look at how fast that time is as well. Over 25K out here, including the Aqueduct at 30:22. So Swedish Swifters Mir absolutely flying. The Dragons presented by Sunweb Wizards there in second, only 11 seconds back. And then look how close this was at 30:46, tied on time. So they would have looked at the hundredths, even thousandths of a seconds there for World Elite Swifters Wolfpack. And that fraction of a second is worth 1 full point here on the table. Skylab, with a valiant effort, ends up in fourth today. KC Brave Bees in our A's are fifth. Ride Club Finland A6, Hexagon A2 in seventh, Foudre XO in eighth, and then it's the Ultra RC Racer D team in ninth. Boy, that must have been incredibly tight all the way to the finish. Here are our B's now.
In B category, there's going to be a Scantalori Sirielli Team DeSaggio there with the 32:37. ZRG RBP 32:41. And Ride Club Finland coming on for third. Coalition Exodus just a few seconds back from that third place. Watt Fabric there, Watt Gokul 32:56. Dirty Beast Kraken sixth place. MTB Training Warriors in seventh. It's going to be Cohen V Sports. I love that name. Development there in for eighth. And Bike Fit Pro. What we had for coverage out here today for the C category was the two German teams at the top.
Yeah, Ruhr Riders C2 team on top of the table. Great ride, guys. Ruhr Riders C2.1 team in for second. The Dinos Hot Peppers third today. Watt Fabric, Watt Lucier in fourth. Bike France. Fun to watch them out racing today. They took fifth. Sisu Racing Haru in sixth, Arcadex Racer D for seventh, and in our C's, here on the Open EMEA Southern one, it was MTB Training Masters in eighth.
Well, and D category, probably still finishing up one or two here, but it's WCC Chain Reactions coming on through, followed up by NTS Project Turtle. Good to see them. The Dino Raptors in for third. Team Ukraine, they take fourth, and it's going to be Brera Racers here in for fifth place. That's our situation for the EMEA Southern 1 as they finished up out here today. We do have the A category for North that we do want to highlight out here today because it is some of the best racing we have seen in quite a long time across the board here. And Toyota Cryo RDT currently leading the charge of this league. We'll get the league standings up here in just a second. But Dave, some of the best here. Jokums, Gottwald, Guveris is here, Dave. Mikey Motram showing up, Dave. Polly as well. Toyota Cryo RDT, they're coming with hitters. Only a 4-second difference right now between them and second place, which is going to be Hexagon on the road. Next Esports sitting in third. Well, going out third right now and third overall in the league.
Oh, these are the heavy hitters. I see Brad Guveris, the South African, in the mix here. That's all part of the legendary Toyota Cryo team. Yeah, these are some of the biggest names in esports, Nathan, that you found here. So as we move into this next wave of racing, this is going to be the EMEA Northern 1. They had the 15 past the hour start time here as we head back to RGV. It's one lap out here today. And of course, that should be familiar to most esports aficionados. A lot of history out here in France as we're just getting going now. So coming up on 5 kilometers in Aqueduct still to look forward to. As promised, here are our top 10 teams. We got a tie on the leaderboard here. So Hexagon and Toyota Cryo tied at 39. Then you can see how competitive this one is, Nathan. Great call on that, picking up the North here. With next presented by Insured at 36 points. BL13, the Watt Bombs in fourth. So next third, BL13 fourth. Beast Mode presented by Rose, the Strength Edition in fifth. Restart presented by Alex Coe in sixth. Team Castelli presented by Elite Men. Seventh, Foudre Punchers Coalition in eighth. Ruhr Riders are back. This is the A1 team that we've got. They're sitting in ninth. And then Not Unknown ESRT. So we have a lot to look forward to in this team time trial. 25K well underway. Let's get it on.
And it looks like Mikey Motram taking over at the front. 565 watts. They're doing 52 kilometers per hour right now for the men. Now, it looks like a little bit of a gap here. Guevara's trying to get back on terms. And Dave, I think Brad Guevara is done. That's very early to be letting go of a rider.
Yeah, I am shocked. Something must be going on there. Brad is a world-class talent out of South Africa, but they can't wait, and he can't chase back on at the speed that they're going. That it has to be. That's not a biomechanical something going on there, but that's going to be a big. They're tied right now, coming in with 39 points for the lead. That is not what you're looking for. Only 6K in, Nathan. Tough break. Let's see how they can record. They still have 5. And 5 very strong riders here talking about Toyota Cryo, but losing Brad's going to hurt.
Yeah, first split here, 7-11. They're coming in quick as they fueled up, it looks like here. Any pastries, soda, just fuel? I don't know. Hexagon there, they're 60-18 total into it so far, holding on the minute. Look at how close this is. I absolutely love these new splits. As you can see, the time that's gone by next to their each one of the specific teams there, and in just 30 seconds from now, we're going to get an idea, Dave. With Hexagon at 6:30 so far, 5.5 kilometers in, they're going to come through just 500 meters at this point. Big kick here from Bert Kayan now at this point.
This is Hexagon that we're looking at, including our French national champion, I believe. That jersey, beautiful there, the tricolor. They've got 6 together. This is a Zwift Grand Prix caliber team. They've raced at the highest level for a couple of years. I heard them being called a new team recently, and I would say, Nathan, that has expired, right? They're no longer a new team. They've established themselves. Maybe not the freshest team out there as far as actually, when you think about it, who are the new teams that have emerged at this level? It's been a while since we've seen a team like Hexagon come along.
Yeah, amongst this crew here, I'm looking through. I mean, Restart presented by Alex Coe, I think.
Yeah, they've been around. They've reinvigorated for sure. Haven't they?
Yeah. I would say there's just they're kind of, because the roster has been so redone.
Totally agree.
I just feel like, and also with Alex being now a sponsor of that and coaching there, and I just get a full revamp of Restart. It feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. And that would fit the bill as far as what I'm talking about, a team that, in this case, it's a reemergence of a squad. But yeah, it's been a little while since we've had a beast mode or a Hexagon appear. And it's always interesting to watch how it develops out there, because when Hexagon hit the scene, they were pretty successful right from the get-go. Well, you could say the same thing about beast mode as well. Teams like Wahoo, LaCole, at one point, Next was the new kids on the block. That's probably 4 years ago now. But it is always interesting when you look at how that plays out. This is going to be a man with a full tank of gas, a true danger man as well, Jeffrey Mallure here, Nathan.
Not sure how close that's actually to whether or not he actually has a full tank of gas.
I think the tank reads full.
Because that's going to be a tough ask at this point to have that much energy in the tank. But I have a feeling he's going to start burning that up here pretty quickly, as you do see it starting to get taken away. Watch as he comes to the front. It's going to be his turn soon, and I do want to highlight how quickly that VO2 tank can come right on down.
All right, so this is really watching a team that has a lot of experience here, and Hexagon would qualify as that for sure. You can learn a lot about the technique. As this right now it's Havot rotating off of the front, it looks like, but keeping it tighten up, as any good jazz band will talk about. Same thing applies out here in team time trialing, and that's not as. Right now, they don't look like the Blue Angels. They look like they're going through as would be normal, just fighting through a tough 25K of racing. Well, this is full tilt boogie, to tell you the truth. It might not be perfect as far as the precision goes, but they are flat out flying right now. Taking a look at Pierre Almeida, Jeffrey Mallure, Cedric Richard, Sebastian Havot, and Ruben Daunt, all familiar names.
Yeah, Don, the guest writer, I would say. Well, Kurt Kane is there as well, right? As also, no, I wouldn't say guest writer, but not only French, non-French flag on the team. They're mainly a French squad. They actually did have it was really cool to see an esports team with an in real life. And here's the thing: they kind of launched both at the same time. It wasn't like one started the other, or the other started one or the other. They had an in real life squad right alongside an esports squad that both kind of like hit the scene at the same time. And they had a great team presentation, it looked like, actually, just the other week, with a massive both men's and women's contingent, actually. So really cool to see. It looked like a lot of dignitaries on site as well.
Yeah, there's a great clip that just resurfaced. Maybe I saw Eric Min reposting it, of one of their riders on the Hexagon team being cheered on while competing in what must have been Zwift Grand Prix. At least I think it was.
I think it was actually, we were broadcasting that race. It was a ZRL
race.
Us? It was actually a broadcasted ZRL race, actually. I wanted to
I didn't want to brag or boast.
Well, there was a little bit of a, that looks familiar there for me at that
That's
moment.
Cool. Yeah. Was and I saw. I think it was Eric Min that I saw reposting that. But the spirit on this team, it sort of reminds me. Speaking of spirit, Electric Spirit Company has this, where there's some real morale, and you can tell that they've connected beyond. The community is virtual, but it actually connects to in real life as well. And same thing with the next team. I've seen that, Nathan. Wow, let's take a look at what's coming in now.
Here. Now, I'm just going to really quickly. Let's go. I'm blown away, actually. What is going on here? Like, I was not expecting to see this, to be honest, the moment I brought these up, and all of a sudden, Restart is, well, they're holding up to their name. But Dave, is it too much too early?
Well, no. I'm going to say, just, for the quick thumbnail sketch here, Nathan, this team. It's interesting that we were talking about them about 5 minutes ago, because this team has some very recognizable names, some of the better minds in esport. I mean, here we go. I mean, this is really, really fun. As Adrian Voulier is with them, Daniel Jimrosic, who it's been a hot minute since we've seen Daniel racing with us, Dean Cunningham, the Scottish rider, Farm Watts is out here, Hayden Pucker. Can you imagine having a better guy on your team time trial squad than Hayden?
Seriously, Jaden and Hayden. Jaden and Hayden is like the combination today.
Yeah. Absolutely. This could be one of the greatest team time trial squads ever assembled. As let's see. Now, I don't know how much they've raced together, Nathan, in this format.
Yeah, it's a good
question. They've got a lot of depth, right?
I mean, they've got
probably have a lot of
big watts here. Jaden Yager on the front there, 7 watts per kilogram. Voulier's coming through as well. How is Niall going to hold on is my question. Niall's out here. I mean,
this kid is awesome.
Oh my gosh, this is like, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, poor Niall, you couldn't get a bigger differentiation of like just pure watch versus climber. He's going to be all in on the aqueduct, I would think.
That's his. They said, okay, Niall, we need you for one spot. It's about 400 meters from the bottom of the aqueduct up to the top. And then we got you. So he is, remember when WTRL did, I think it was during the holidays of 2020, maybe 2021, where they had a team time trial up Alpe to Zwift? Or maybe Ventop, but I think it was Alpe to Zwift. And it was very, very unique, not much draft, an insane amount of climbing. Well, that would be the kind of day where Niall out of the United Kingdom would be your top guy. But today, he's in with some of the big diesels. This is, like having a Ferrari drafting off of, well, I hope for him, it's like being in a Ferrari and drafting off of semis, because they're some of the biggest engines in the sport. He's holding his own. This kid is a legend.
He is. It's good to see that he is holding his own here. Dave, this is a really close race right now. Now, Toyota 711, 711, 711. Toyota, Hexagon, Restart. Then we got Beast Mode, 715, BL13, 717, next at 728. And all of that can swap. Next could come on like a maniac at the end. I mean, you never know with how these teams, they play their tactics up front. Things can change as to where they're putting their energy reserves.
If my grandma asked me who was winning right now, I would look at this scoreboard and I would say they're all tied.
Right?
I don't want to overcomplicate it, but I mean, it's close enough. Nathan, we don't see this. This gives me goosebumps when you see a race shaping up as this one is. We could see 3, make it 4 teams within 10 seconds of each other at the finish. Let's take a look at the restart presented by Alex Coe team. Alex Coe, Nathan, he's brought some real special sauce to this squad, hasn't he?
100%, and it's great to see. Absolutely loving what he brings to all of the esports. If you haven't checked out Alex Coe, one of the best coaches out there, for sure. And he is bringing the heat with these guys. That's from what we're seeing.
Sure
here.
is.
Villiers, now on the front, 7 watts per kilogram coming from him. Niall now on the back. They're having to push big orange numbers just to hang on as they get up into the 51 kilometers per hour. As the heart rates start to skyrocket, we saw Jaden Yager go to the back there. And actually, it looks like Yager perhaps was just feeling a little bit of a gap that had opened up there for a second, making his way all the way into third wheel again after just taking a pull. Big 9 watts per kilogram. Little bit of disruption, it looks like, amongst them here as Farm Watts heads to the front there. That's going to be Hayden Puckett up in the 7. They're pushing 7 consistently at the front. That's great to see.
Hayden Farm Watts is the rookie of the year, no doubt. I've come to appreciate Jaden Yeager as a bike racer. He personifies what the sport is all about, Nathan. Recently, saw on social media talking about the best lead-out guy in America and the role that he plays for some of the top sprinters, in particular masters racing, over 35-year-olds racing here in the United States. But
yeah,
the guy is an
Bahati.
institution.
I saw he's he was here to America's Day. Yeah, there's some pretty big talent that he's been being he closes down this.
And they love him.
I love the way they race too. I've
him.
seen him race in real life, so many times. And what they do is they send him over and over again until it's like, no, it's not going to work. If it's not going to work, all right. And then he resets into lead out mode to deliver somebody.
They play chess while other teams are playing checkers, is a good way to put it, right?
Yeah.
Nathan, I just saw James Barnes. James Barnes is in the Esports Hall of Fame already, and he's still an active racer. I mean, this guy is special, no question. And where's next? I mean, the fact that next is 4th tells you how insanely competitive this is, and it's getting to be about almost 18 seconds, the advantage that Toyota Cryo has. That was one of the teams that we were with very early. This is where team time trialing is at its very best, ladies and gentlemen. Because, Nathan, very quickly, I want to run down this next roster that we've got out here, as this is a team that has nothing but heavy hitters. There's a new name, Stepan Hrutina. Watch out for the Czech rider on the squad. Brad Greenberg, always a danger man. James Barnes, Kay Meyer, the German on this team. Marcel Weiss as well with the Irishman. Very, very popular rider at this World Championships in Scotland, Richard Berry. So that's the next team that we're looking at. They're very well drilled. 6 together, 10.5K to go, but it looks like they're going to say goodbye.
Ooh, one
is that
rider?
Barnes?
No, it's Brad Greenberg. Brad Greenberg off the back here, 3.7 watts. He might get back on terms, actually. He's just, it's right there, David. Oh, nope, game over. He almost made it.
Can wait.
Speed's just, no, they can't. They can't. It's too much.
That's right up the line.
Those seconds right now are absolutely crucial. They're going to continue on.
It's funny you say seconds, Nathan. I was going to say probably 1.5 seconds they would have to give up to let him reconnect. But do they get that back? Probably not. I think it's the right call. I just get how that's really tough. These are on-the-fly decisions that experience really pays off, because the worst-case scenario, Nathan, and I've seen it happen in real life, where you have half of the team wants to do and is executing one game plan, the other half of the team is doing something else, and then that's where it really goes off the rails for you out here. Next, never flinched.
No, and they just continued on at that point. You make the call and you go. You just cannot
look how quickly that
hesitate
gap is
at
just
all.
Gone.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the reality is, if he was completely cooked there, he would have to take one off, right? One, maybe skip a turn. Then once he gets reinvigorated, there's only so much time left to really make any kind of rest for anybody, because essentially he's adding rest and maybe a little bit of speed. But the truth is, it's just going to slow things down eventually. So now a little bit of kick here from Weiss. Weiss got to stay on turn. I don't think so. I think he's got it. I do think he's got it. But there's only 4 here at this point. This is a pretty big deal now. Can they make this happen, Dave?
Now you have to. Now, and this is where experience is really going to pay off. James Barnes realizes what's happening, and instead of forcing his teammate to chase and just putting him more on the ropes, Barnes realizes, I will just feather this a tiny bit, let him get back in the draft. That was really, so that was a learning moment there, Nathan, where you can see that James Barnes realizes he wants to keep Marcel in, but he's not going to do anyone favors by forcing him to chase for a K and a half to rejoin, because when he does rejoin, he'll be useless. He'll have completely burnt his wick down. So now you can see that these 5 will have an opportunity to work together here with 10K. Well, make it 9K to go. This is going to be BL13 that we're looking at. Aaron Burrell and company, another extremely experienced team that when they start throwing down, Nathan, watch out. And they are...
this is a reinvigorated. This is a really different team than I'm used to seeing, actually, from BL13. I'm extremely impressed, to be honest, with what I'm seeing right now, because I haven't seen them compete at this level of just pure watts. Like, they're usually known for sneaky attacks, having tactics, as well as really good sprints. But this is a new team. They have completely revamped themselves to be this kind of top 3 material, top 4 material, even in contention amongst this crew, is massive for BL13. It's really great to see as Thomas Berry hits the front, and this guy is motivated. The last 2 years, he has turned himself into an esports animal.
I would completely agree with that, Nathan. Let's take a look at the splits as they're coming in. As Toyota Corral remains on top of the table. This is one of the original super teams that has not missed a step throughout their, I'm going to say 8 years of existence, but one of the OG squads for sure, a 21-20 on top of that leaderboard. It's 11 seconds quicker than Hexagon, but watch out for this restart time now. Restart should be very, very close to that 21-20. I mean, Nathan, I said 4 teams within 10 seconds at the finish. I still think that's possible here today.
Oh, man, this is coming right down to it for this amazing North. There's the squad. Joe Lewis, Peter Weir, it's going to be Thomas Berry, Justin Perot, Aaron Burrell, and Mark Elding for BL13. And they are in contention for the win out here today. Dave, massive. Oh, but restart now. Look at them coming through here. It's 3 seconds. Dave, look at how close all this is. At that marker, we're talking... 1 second difference between the top 3 teams at this point.
So as we're taking a look now at what is going to be possibly the closest finish that we have seen in team time trialing history, you have tuned into the right race on the right day here as we're into 7 kilometers to go. It's going to be rolling now. Everybody has passed the main feature out here, which is the aqueduct. And to be fair to the aqueduct, is one of the greatest feats of engineering in human history. That is not a decisive climb in this event. Today is about precision and just your execution as a squad. It's not about sectors out here. And this team is having an incredible ride as we're in with BL13 here. I'm really excited to see what Restart's going to put up on the board, though. This could be one of the biggest wins of that team's history if they can pull it off out here today in France, Nathan.
Moving our way through here, this is going to be Beast Mode, presented by Rose Strength. And are they making a big jump? What? How? How did they do this?
Hold on.
What just happened?
So 3 seconds quicker is what we're saying. 3 seconds quicker at that final split. That's unbelievable for Beast Mode.
7:15, 14:49, and then boom! 21:17. I noticed often,
from check to check, that's the greatest delta that we've seen.
What did they do? What the heck happened? I've never seen anything like that. Like, was there a mistake perhaps in the 12K? The only thing could be that there was some sort of mistake at the 12K perhaps. Or did they just turn the fire on?
So I'm going to go with they turned the fire on. I mean, when you look at how precise, now a little bit interesting what's going on here is they've got one rider just being brought back, but they look really, really precise, talking about beat mode, until we brought them onto the screen. And then we're starting to see a little bit of this going on right now. But again, they might be a little ragged at this point after an incredible last 6K. Or really it is. If you look at what they did from that check, the second check to the third check, that is something special. Because what place were they in, Nathan? I mean,
they were in like 8th. They were in 8th place. They were 8th or 7th
and now
or 8th
they have
place,
the fastest
way
time.
Down. And then all of a sudden, and I saw 52 seconds behind. I was like, is that real? How did they do that? What happened? But they are 6 watts per kilogram, continually on the front, nonstop. Can they win?
There's no shortcuts. There's no motorcycles being handed out. So, I mean, it's like we kind of just need to work with that as the facts, right? That's, even though as mind-blowing as that is, this is what we've got. Wow. All right, Toyota Cryo then. So, but with that, Nathan, wouldn't you think that they're going to be vulnerable in the last 5K
I mean,
here?
with that kind of an effort, yeah, there is definitely the reality that they may just like have
you got to pay the piper at some point.
Totally. Good point.
But let's see. We'll watch. Nathan, this is fun. I'm so glad you chose this A race today. I know you've been really doing a wonderful job of bringing more and more C and B coverage, but this was certainly one of the greatest team time trials that we've seen in the history of this discipline in esports. So let's go ahead and update for you now. Beast Mode presented by Rose with the fastest time at the most recent split. They're 3 seconds quicker than Toyota Cryo. Restart is in with the 21:23. They're only 6 seconds out, Nathan. Ooh la la, we've got a barn burner going on right now. This is going to be the Beast Mode team that Nathan is bringing up. You got a guy named Rocco on your team. You're in good shape.
Rocco, David, right? Nordy, Lucas, Ritter, and Nicholas. Good to see 547 watts on the front there coming from Nicholas as he pushes this on. Nordy's right there as well. Absolutely flying. Are they going to win this outright, Dave? This strength team coming on strong in the back end of this race now. Now, here's the thing, Dave. They're currently sitting in 5th place. This is a big jump for them if they're able to pull this off.
So this is a team that's really well established in esports racing. And Nathan, when you look at how clean they have everything set up, this is a squad that knows how to team time trial. They've been participating in the WTRLs on Thursday. I am now thinking that it's not Zwift craft. This is WTRL craft that we're looking at with that Beast Mode team. Going back now, this is into the last few hundred meters, actually.
Yeah,
we're in the marina.
Here. We're in the marina here. It's going to be big kicks to the line. Just wanted to catch you here. Sub 30 minutes. Sub 30 minutes is what we're looking at here from this team. That is a massive, absolutely flying team. Great job by Toyota.
We saw other A's getting close to 30 minutes and 10 seconds. They were nearly a minute faster than that, and that might not be the winning time, Nathan, but it certainly could be. Toyota Cryo stopping the clock at a 29:15. Nathan, this is the day we're not going to forget, and here we go. This looks like Hexagon. Jeffrey
coming on through. Malure now slowing down, though. Only 5.6 watts per kilogram. We're not seeing that 7 watts per kilogram that we were seeing earlier.
They're not going to make the fastest time.
Almeida now to the front. What do you think, Dave? What's the time here at this one? I mean, within a minute still that they could get to the line? Sub 29? Not sub 29. Sub 30? Sub 30, perhaps?
They'll go sub 30. They go sub 30, but only by 15 seconds.
Yeah, dropping one off. You always have to, it seems like at this point here. 4 left here, Dave, with the sprint to the line.
Yeah, this is it now. So that's really well done to their credit. It's just not quite there. Still going to be a top 6 ride.
They might have done it here, Dave. 29, 23. There might be a couple extra seconds somewhere that we have to work with, though. As they come across the line, we should get an update pretty quickly here on Hexagon. I'm seeing 29, 29 perhaps from Hexagon. We're waiting for the official result to come through.
That's wow. Okay. So now we're going to pick up next. Richard Barry, the Irishman on the front. They're down to 4 here as well, Nathan.
Yeah, now Barry making the moves on the front here. As you can see, Toyota Cryo T currently holding down that top spot. Next, presented by Insured here, they're going to be all the way down at 6th place. This is... with only 4 riders left, Dave, I mean, coming off of, a big competition with ZGP, did they take some rest? The support national championships, perhaps maybe, Dave, a reset here, a rebuild of fitness, looking towards Zwift Games, perhaps? And this is more of a training ride, I'm thinking, because this is not the usual I would expect here from Next Esports.
No, I agree, Nathan, and I think all of those things really do have to be factored in. It is getting to the point where the esports season is relatively long, and we're in kind of a little bit of a in-between period, as you said, with Zwift Games coming up. There's some monsters on this team, and they're certainly going to bring it home. We're looking at BL13 now here as well. You might have been right about, I might have miscalled that Hexagon. I didn't give them enough credit for the ride they put together there.
Yeah, we'll see as the official results come through. Barry, now I don't know, the speeds that BL13 are coming with here and almost catching Next. They can see Next up the road actually a lot here. I'd watch out for this to perhaps also challenge the fastest time. And this is all so incredibly close. Then we still have this amazing ride coming in from Beast Mode. I think BL13, though, I mean, look at 29. They're almost 10 seconds up from what we saw from Hexagon just a moment ago.
Yep. So this is going to be, that's your command performance right now from BL13, at least Restart now. What a ride from Restart presented by Alex Coe today. This will go down as one of their great performances, and they've got 6 together. They look like they're on a roller coaster as they make their way through the Les Intestins.
It's close here now. As you can see, there we go. Time starting to come on through. BL13 takes second to Toyota. Oh, it was so close here. Toyota Cryo RDT, though, holding on by 7 seconds here at this point. The BL13 Watt Bombs just a second ahead of Hexagon here. It's 30-24 from Next. So the question is, what can Restart do?
They can win, Nathan.
You think they got this? Rose Beast Mode as well are in this contention, I think, as well still.
So actually, Hexagon's time was pretty close to what I was saying, which is that 29:40 is what we're putting up on the board now. So I was saying 29:45. So yeah. So all right. So let's go back and take a look at now they're going to start shedding riders who've done their work. Is it Jaden Yeager on the front now? It's a really big push. These guys know that this could be one of the biggest wins in their team history. You got to love the fighting spirit that we're looking at out here, Nathan. This is what team time trialing really is all about. As Restart, presented by Alex Coe, is looking to upset the apple cart out here today. Toyota Cryo with the fastest time. It's no surprise to see 29:32 up on the board. Is it beatable, Nathan?
It's a good question. Toyota Cryo RDT, they put down one of the fastest times we've ever seen on RGV. This is right down to it here, Dave, as you were saying. They might do it. I think they're going to do it, Dave. Oh, my gosh, they got to finish now. It's within just 2 or 3 seconds, really, when it comes down to it here from what we've seen so far. Oh man! I don't know. Just outside, I think. Yep, I think it's just outside. Yeah. Just not quite enough, perhaps. 29:22. That's going to add about 10 seconds to that, most likely, I think. So,
that really time that you see is not the time.
Beast Mode. Where is Beast Mode? Where are they even? What, they disappeared from the track altogether. They must have just snuck in somewhere between everything we had on screen there. They weren't in the behind.
No, I don't think that they've finished yet.
They were right. I think they were right behind Restart. And because of that, we were unable to see them with this weird, there's a turn where you lose the sight of the riders. And so because of that, we just couldn't catch their camera images, because that's going to be the big question. At that 29:06 is what they're currently at. Is that going to stick? That's the big question. 29:07. Now that's still coming through.
Just let's hold on that for a moment. I'm with you. We're closely watching that. This is Castelli, the Italian squad that we've got on our screen. Every now and then they have an American racing on this team, but it looks like it's all Italians right now. Nathan, here's the squadra.
Yeah, nicely done here from Castelli. They're going to be coming in somewhere between ESRT and Rue Riders, A1 team, as they make their way around out on course. As Tegan Castelli with Bendetti, it's going to be Paniza now leading things out in front of them. Behind them, we've got the Foudre Punchers Coalition making their way around course. And it does look like no way. Dave, they did it.
No way.
They did it by what?
29-23.
Are you kidding me? And then it was a tie with it going to restart by like the 10th of a seconds behind here. This was such a crazy team time trial. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this.
Nathan, we've never seen a team at a midpoint check come from further than fifth back to win. That unheard of. So an incredible performance. A day we won't forget out here. We still have teams out on course, but they won't better that time. That's
not like an aqueduct. I got to ask them, is that like an aqueduct tactic?
If only we knew someone who spoke German.
Tactic or something? Like, I mean, you're funny. Who is on the team? Who was a beast mode rider?
Is she racing right now, or what are the whereabouts on that?
She just got done racing the women's squad. Well,
can you get her as our correspondent to check in with the Germans and find out what happened? Because that's incredible.
What is going on there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was some of the.
If only we knew someone who spoke German and Portuguese, we could be. All right, so this is going to be the Castelli team finishing, or excuse me, the Punchers Club.
Yeah, the Punchers
Club. Their jersey's pretty similar to the Castelli guys.
Yeah, it's really close, actually. Really close.
That light blue. But this is Foudre Punchers Club.
Here, we'll be jumping across. Let's go ahead and take a look at these results, actually, across this A category as they finish up. I do want to jump over to the ladies, though. We will be over there in just a moment. I know that there's some waiting for the women's C category. At that 12:10, so we'll get over there as quickly as we possibly can. But Dave, big change-ups out here. That was good racing. Beast Mode presented by Rose, taking it down at that 29-23. Go ahead, take it away for us.
That goes down as the ride of the season. As Beast Mode presented by Rose Strength Edition, living up to their name. Command Performance, Toyota Cryo RDT will come in for second. And, well, I was close, Nathan. Look at this. How we, within 8 seconds, have 4 teams, but they are all 11 seconds at best behind Beast Mode there. But that is how you stack them up like cordwood here. With Toyota Cryo in with the 29.32, 2 teams at 29.39. Restart presented by Alex Coe with a memorable ride today, as did BL13. The Watt Bombs Hexagon A ends up in 5th with the 29.40. Talk about competitive. It's going to be next presented by Insured at 30.24 for 6th place. Team Castelli in 7th. Not Unknown ESRT in 8th. Ruhr Riders A1 in 9th. And then Foudre, the FPC in 10th. Some great racing today.
Jumping across those results to the ladies. They weren't finished quite yet.
8, 9, and 10 might have been still in play.
Yeah, thanks for good job, Dave. Totally catching us there. As you are 100% right about that. Now, in with the ladies, this is going to be our... Oh, come on, please. Women's EMEA East Central 1. As Paige Runrow is taking a big pull at the front here for her team. Great to see. And we'll see if we can...
they're almost done.
Yeah, they're just finishing up here. I wanted to definitely highlight, though, the C category riders and get an idea of how they're playing out here today. And, they are one of the most competitive. And actually, as far as, like, participation goes, they've got big numbers across this category.
Maybe the biggest, to tell you the truth. I mean, especially when you look at in our community, the amount of support and participation, these are the women that really lift each other up. That's for sure. So taking a look, this is going to be Griffiths of Team CLS. So we are in with our C's, and I'm in Zwift power right now, catching back up. I lost myself in that A race, Nathan. That was really some good stuff.
Really was. Really some of the best racing for sure.
So they're down to just over 4K we've gotten to know that last K really well as they make it into the marina there. And you get some good markers there as well as we take a look at some spectators out there, probably enjoying a picnic. It is France after all. Some wine.
Yeah, I finally got our our times. Here you go, everybody. Sorry about the wait on that. KC Team Bs, they were 36-12. Watt Fabric, Kiss My Back Wheel, come through at a 37-17. It's going to be a race like a girl. Morgan there at 37-21. SC Erd there, 37-28. Tied with Revo Galaxies that we saw just across the line. But they get the better of them, Revo Galaxies. Unless we get an API update here, I think that will be the 4th and 5th. R3R AHA there with 37-35. But still, out on course, it is going to be Rave against the Machine. We'll see if we can find them and get their finish line lined up, as well as Team NL and Galaxy still finishing things up out here today. We'll get you with the team standing as well with the league. And we've got the next ladies coming up real quickly here for... is it going to be Central or is it West that's up next? I'm going to double check that quick.
I can tell you on that. It will be Western women.
Thank you very much.
So now you wonder, well, have the Kirkmeyer Team Bs here been dominating all season, or are they just really good at team time trialing, or both? Nathan will bring up
that
how
Team
the team's
Bs,
standing.
yeah, they tend to be
they're good.
Pretty dominant. Yeah, they in the C categories, they are really, really strong.
They do their work.
For sure.
Although you never, so this is the third race of 6 in the third and final season of this grouping of seasons. And yeah, Kirkmeyer traditionally has been, I mean, that was kind of their bread and butter, wasn't it, Nathan? Showing up on Thursdays with team time trialing. It's one of the programs that has incredible numbers. It's mostly German, Austrian, and Swiss riders, and there you go. They haven't won every race. They've won, it looks like they've had a first and a second so far. As we take a look at the Kirkmeyer Team Bs there, KC Team Bs on top of the table, R3R, AHA, second right now. It's really close here with Swedish Swifters in third, Watt Fabric, who are second right now in the team time trial, so they're having a good day. Could be moving up on the table as well for Watt Fabric. Rave against the Machine in 5th. I Race Like a Girl Morrigan in 6th. Revo Galaxy 7th. And you can see Team NL Ladies, Synergy Attack, and Galaxy Inferno rounding out our top 10 as we head into our team time trial for the C Ladies out here today.
So they're finishing up pretty quickly here. Level UPC. Team CLS a little ways back here at this point still. Do we get outside of, we do Team CLS here, we do get 11th and 12th lining up still with the Diesels that we're looking at right now. Galaxy Inferno, they're battling it out, these two teams. They're only a 2-second difference actually between Galaxy and the Diesels now at this point. Level up C are there as well, or UPC, up C, I believe it's level up C, as they're in the fluorescent kit, that bright, glowing fluorescent kit, I'll call it. Griff is here leading things out for him. This is going to be Jenny.
Dayglow.
Dayglow. But
yeah, that's what is that old school talk?
Yeah, or
Dayglow. I don't think anyone says that anymore.
Lightning bugs? Is it a lightning bug?
You know what they say in Ireland now is high vis is the term. You can't go outside at night without seeing somebody jogging by in high vis.
You're really hip. You're really up with the kids these days and the lingo.
All the sayings, slang. Sure am. All right, so 4 riders, starting with 6 out here. As you see the balloon in the sky there, this is such a peaceful world racing in France. But 4 riders with the time taken off of your 4th. There's no wiggle room for these ladies. Got to stay together.
Yeah, like and level, you can see here a little ways up. I think they've gained a solid 22 seconds. There's that high vis. That's what I was looking for.
There it is.
D. Melander, South Africa. Hughes. Oh, Swift is there as well. Marshall is not a part of the team, so we won't talk about that. As Cook now kicks 6 watts per kilogram on the front. Nice job.
This is how you finish.
I like it.
This is a nice tight finish here, like the Blue Angels coming in. sprinting, keeping it together, pack finish. Good job out here, ladies. Is this level velo that we're looking at?
Yeah, that's going to be the level velo. Whoa,
Nice.
oxen. Where did these guys suddenly come from? So what's interesting is just so you
Corbin
know.
Oxen.
Yeah, so
So
what happens
everybody
is
appears,
everyone's
right,
finishing
yeah.
at the same time, right? So all of a sudden we jump in and there's, hey, whoa, Toodle's here from Fusion. Oh, hey, there's, you know.
Once they leave their race world and come across the finish line, everybody is back together, which is kind of interesting to see. Yeah.
So everybody ends up in the same exact space. CLS still finishing up. They're the last team that'll finish up here in just a moment. And as they do,
imagine that you finish up your ride and all of a sudden you're next to Tadej Pogacar. You know, whoa!
It's pretty cold in
That'd
here,
be cool.
Dave. What's the temperature that you need to race at? Is the big question. You know, a lot of times.
I figure you're in the lab right now, and what
Can
I've
you
been
hear
hearing,
Gabby in the background? Can you hear her kind
Not
of
right
giving
now.
directions? She's giving directions, and she's actually doing a Kieran race
sometimes
right now.
I can hear her for sure, but so typically you guys get it down into the mid 50s, low 60s down there in the Zwift lab.
Yeah, right now 67.8 is what we're looking at. 67.8 is the total.
That's
So,
actually,
you know,
if I had to
warm,
guess,
a little warm. It's a little warm.
yeah, probably. I mean, 60 degrees is probably the perfect number, I would think. It wouldn't be, we were talking about that as we watched CLS finish. When you're in a velodrome, when they're going for the hour record, Nathan, they'll turn the heat up to where it's like 80, 85 degrees.
What?
It's
Are you
crazy
serious?
hot.
Really?
Yeah, because the air is so much thinner when it's hot like that. Cold air is thick. And so you get a faster time by a significant margin if it's hot. This is entirely different because Gabby's not actually moving. What you're trying to do is keep her core cooler. And what you're doing makes all the sense in the world. But any cooler than 60, and there might be unintended negative consequences. And
that's
like
exactly
you having to wear a coat.
where we end up. That's exactly where. Well, right now I'm seeing 67.5, but I have an open window next to me, you know, and we'll want it probably 5 degrees cooler next to her. So it's kind of interesting because the wind has to come by me in order for it to get colder. So I end up like freezing. We've got about 7 minutes to the start of our next race, everybody. So I think what we'll do is we'll take a quick little 3 to 5 minute break here between our time trials. We'll be in, though, in a moment with the Women's Western EMEA East E. And then a little bit later at the half hour past, we'll be in with the EMEA W Northern 1 with the men as well. And we'll be looking, we'll cover across the A's and the C's as best as we possibly can as they hit out on course. But everybody, we're going to take a quick little break, about 5 minutes or so, and we'll see you in 5 minutes for the next 2 broadcasts of our European coverage. There we go. And back in with the freezing cold Wisconsin room where there is all kinds of racing going on, time trialing out here today in the Zwift Racing League. We're in with now women's EMEA Western 25 kilometers. We'll jump in with the A category and then cross over to the C's as soon as possible. A very familiar name to the world of esports. Dave on the front end of this Ionian team. Ariel Verholland, Vicky Whitelaw, Cecilia Hansen, Joe Blackburn's out here, as well as Miss Cookies herself, Monalee Keller. Daniela Strate there now rolling on through as Hansen starts to head to the front to hold on to Whitelaw's wheel. Dave, here is the league standings as well as they get out on course.
Monalee even has a cookie next to her name if you go to Zwift Power. So Aeonian Aces on top of the table with 39 points. This is such a solid group here. Wahoo Lecole Vitesse with 38 and 37 for the BL13 Rockettes, who are punching above their weight. You've got Coalition Arete in fourth. I Race Like a Girl in fifth, and Team Castelli presented by Elite Women. This might as well be the all-star league that we're talking about here. So Nathan, we can learn a lot watching these ladies race. Let's take a look at how things are standing with the Bs. Again, this is with the nearly 20,000 folks that race in the league. It might even be more than that at this point. I haven't checked in with Martin lately on those numbers, but it's an incredible group. And so when you break it down, this is the women's EMEAE Western 1 that we're talking about, and the B ladies with Team NL, so the Nederlanders, the ladies B team, the Lionhearted edition. On top of the table, they're actually tied, though, with a win and a second in the first 2 of 6 races with Crush Pod Words. A great job by another legendary squad, Crush Pod there in second. It's the Aeonian Banditas. Aeonian is represented in just about every division of racing that we have out here. And you can see the Banditas, they're tied with Herd of Little Penguins, another institution in esports, the Herd program. Roca Corba, Ashley Moolman Passio's team, they are sitting in fifth. Socks for Watts Pizza Party, another OG squad there in sixth. This is the B women with Synergy Smash in seventh, Level Hornets in eighth, Galaxy Zenith in ninth, and Bella Velo B with a lot to race for going forward here, as we are really just hitting the beginning of the middle part of the season. That's how things stand for the B women. The C's here, we got Crush Pod Verdandi on top of the table. Perfect season so far. We'll see if they can continue that, because we will be in with the C's today. C's and A's we'll be splitting our coverage with for this group. I heard of Rockhopper Penguins in second, Galaxy Velocity in third. Then you've got the Swedish Swifter Jord team fourth. Fifth is Team NL Ladies C. It's Team Italy, Chat and Watt in sixth, Aeonian Chicas in seventh, Crushpod Saga in eighth, WCC Dust Devils in ninth, and then Herd of Gen 2 Penguins in 10th. That's how things stand for our C's. And then our D's, it's going to be Swedish Swifter Saga on top of the table, What's Up Demons in second. They're actually tied, though. It's Aeonian Divas in third right now, Herd of Fairy Penguins in fourth, Galaxy Rhea fifth. It's Delirium Pink Ladies in sixth, KVG White in seventh, Herd of Chinstrap Penguins in eighth, Bella Velo D in ninth, and then rounding out your top 10 for the D women here, it's Team CLS Dynamic Diesels. Thanks, Nathan. That's a good look at the standings there in A's, B's, C's, and D's. Jumping back in with one of the greatest teams of all time. And here's the American Olympian Ariel Verharen leading them along.
Yeah, nicely done so far by this team keeping things together. Blackburn now making her way to the front for her first pole, it looks like, as they make their way down to the flatter sections of this course. Let's speak a little bit to the course, Dave. It's kind of this rolling terrain a little bit up front, fairly flat, but a couple little bumps in it until they make their way over to that little French village where they go through a sprint section. And they hit some cobbles there, and from there on out, I kind of feel like it's this. The course gets crazier and crazier. It gets a little bit more sporadic, a little bit more violent for what you need to be putting out for the power. I mean, you hit the Aqueduct KOM,
yeah,
And then from there, you roll down into a couple of little bumps. Right hand turn into a nice little jaunt of a climb, and then you hit the intestines, and it's full gas boogie to the line. And I have a feeling that that's kind of what we saw from Rose Beast Mode Strength in that last race, Dave, is where they knew to where to reserve the energy, and then they put the afterburners on massively in the back end of that course, specifically coming off the aqueduct.
Well said. I think that's exactly it, Nathan, is they knew where to make the difference, and they did. And they were prepared to make a difference when it mattered. So, it was one of the most impressive team time trial rides in the history of the discipline that we just witnessed a few minutes ago with that beast mode ride. This is going to be a tough team to beat today, talking about Aeonian. They don't have a weak link, Nathan. They're well drilled as the good thing about these other teams is they're incredibly strong, and Aeonian has seen this leveling up of the other squads. But you look at the names on this team, like Vicky Whitelaw, Esport Olympic medalist in her career, Cecilia Hansen. Cecilia, Nathan, she goes back. This is 5-6 years of dominating in esports from Cecilia. She was part of the Hino squad.
Yeah, it goes pretty far. Well, this is actually a lot of Hino here. So was Vicky Whitelaw, I believe. I'm not sure
that's a good point.
Keller was on there.
No,
I don't believe she was. She was a Sox for Watts.
She came in a little later, right? I'm trying to remember her origin story as far as talking about Monali Keller, the Canadian who we'll see racing. Monali Keller very well could be the Canadian national esports champion as of Sunday noon. By lunchtime on Sunday, I think that's probably her goal, wouldn't you think?
Be cool to see. Would be very cool to see. It's going to be a tough one as far as the competition goes out there on Sunday, but we do have Canadian National Championships, and a few of these riders that we've seen out here today are definitely going to be looking to take that on. Here's the team and the lineup with them. Nobody's heart rates, it looks like, are on currently. We'll see if we get those turned on. There
Very
they go.
Chill. Oh. Yeah, it's interesting. This really is a murderer's row when you look at we haven't even talked about Daniela Istrate, the Romanian rider, who's another perennial top 10 rider worldwide. She's had a huge impact in esports. And I'm going to guess that, when you look at her results over the last 5 years, there's not many that can compare to Daniela Istrate.
Yeah, and you can see she is, as far as the esports prowess goes, she knows where to be when and how to ride. Absolutely love the way that we can see her tactics out on course. She is extremely talented at the draft. It's kind of like if you want to watch somebody who's got
magician.
This just perfectly timed, usually rarely is off on the timings of her drafting ability. So always watch out for Estrate if you want to see how exactly it is you hold the wheel.
And this is the Aeonian team. You know the one rider, Nathan, that with Joe Blackburn? The real question is that a donkey or a mule that she's making friends with?
Oh my gosh, that's a good
out
question.
Here. Yeah, I don't know. That's a Joe Blackburn question. We'll have to ask her. But she's one of the riders that has really reinforced this team as well. Real bedrock for this squad. As we take a look, this is a graphic that we've really loved, being able to integrate into the broadcast recently, getting a good look at some of the data that makes it interesting out here. Level 56 Zwifter. So she's put her time in on the smart trainer, that's for sure. I'd love to know more about Joe Blackburn, to tell you the truth, about it looks like if she's out there, that's either a gravel or a mountain bike ride. I'm thinking gravel.
Yeah, she's definitely smashing the watts right now on the front, though, here. 159 beats per minute, 266 as we do see the tank start to be drained here a little bit. Sixth National Hill Climb at National Hill Climb 2021, 11th in 2022. She's RTTC National Circuit Championship Road Bike Time Trial 2022 in second place. Wow. Really some serious second place as well in the National Road Bike Championship Time Trial 2023. So definitely a rider who would like this kind of efforts, I think, is what it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because you know how much the emphasis on those hill climbs, the hill climb time trial events in the United Kingdom, we don't have anything close to that in North America as far as the enthusiasm, the participation. And you mentioned some really solid in real life results there. Impressive. Well, here's a name, another one of the esports greats. Let's talk about Wahoo Lacole. And when you see that Zoe Langham is out here, so Zoe Langham is another rider who's really used Zwift to benefit her life in great ways, creating opportunities. I think she helped grow her profile in cycling to get some time representing Great Britain in the World Championships and getting onto a in real life pro team. It's been extremely cool to watch Zoe Langham's journey over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's good to see her out with the crew. And Dave, up front, I would have said Aeonian were the favorites, but
I realized that too.
I'm
changes
like,
a lot.
Now that I'm seeing the lineup here coming in
from
WLC. I mean,
Yeah.
this is one of the strongest lineups that you could possibly see.
Cow.
Zoe Langham,
Nathan?
Elise Gallegos, Lindsay Cassie, Allison Kerr, Laura Simnick, as well as Danny Wilson. Simnick, this is crazy, Dave.
Yeah, and have you seen Elise racing with this crew? I haven't. I think this is awesome because she's the biggest star that we've seen coming out of the North American scene this year by a long shot, to tell you the truth. I'm anticipating that she does big things at the very highest level, this triathlete. I haven't seen her racing with Laura and Zoe in this world. So it makes a ton of sense that Wahoo Lacole is blending now the best riders from all the different continents here onto this super squad. And look at this team. I mean, Aeonian's got their hands full. In no way, Nathan, is Aeonian a guarantee to win this race today. And look at this formation. Wahoo Lacole in full effect. And Elise Gallegos has got to be reveling in the fact that she's racing on a team where she's just not outright the strongest woman.
Yeah, that is something that she doesn't get to see a whole lot, racing out of
Never
the
sees
Americas
that.
a lot of times, right? So now coming in with the European crew, with WLC at this point, Elise Gallegos is
Big
a
league.
huge addition, actually, to this mainly European squad. I have a feeling that she's going to fit right in. We're going to see some big watts in the back end of this course, I have a feeling. Langham now, it looks like taking over 5.1 at the front, and as you can see, almost up into 300 watts there coming from Langham.
Okay, Nathan. I mean, honestly, if we just imagine you haven't seen anything yet, but which one of these teams would you favor? I would say 50-50 on paper. When you look at the lineups and the quality, this is going to be as good as that men's race or that open race that we just watched. This is going to be incredibly close and fun as they're just 9.5K in. Welcome, everybody. It's a long broadcast here in the morning. If you're just joining us, we're out in France. RGV, Route Grand Vitesse, 25K. Aqueduct is the feature they've got coming up. The back end of the course is definitely, the back nine is a little more complicated. We've seen some amazing things out here today. They start with 6, the time taken off of the 4th rider. This is team time trialing in its esports variation. It's incredibly popular. And it looks like we've got a couple level 74. Is that 1 or 2, Scotty, the squirrel hats? It looks like 2 that I'm seeing here. So this is not,
I like it that you recognize that.
So, and Elise Gallegos with no Scotty the squirrel hat, but I love the storyline here, Nathan, as we are introducing to one of the world's greatest teams, one of the newest stars that we've developed here in North America.
Well, let's look at how things are playing out
so
far.
We.
751, 755, 805, 812, and 814. Wahoo Lacole did take the fastest time up front, but I have a feeling Aeonian might be stretching their legs a little bit on the back end here as I'm seeing them maybe get away. And BL13, I think, are starting to ramp things up a little bit as they close down this time. Have WLC gone out a little hot perhaps and have to refine some energy up front here as now we're in with BL13?
Well, and Nathan, I'm going to say no to that question because I don't want to just let that float out there. I think this is going to be, it's only a 4-second difference. That's pretty negligible. And this team that you've got up now, BL13, let's run through these danger women. This could be, for BL13, and again, they're only a few seconds out at 10K in. If they can win this one, it's going to be that much sweeter knowing who they were racing against. And these ladies are in the mix, and nothing beats that. There's the mighty, mighty Harriet Loudon taking the start. The German, Irish Hunstosten. Also racing South African Jill Pruitt. You've got Lara Meyer here. She's the French rider. This is a really international team as they're really touching all the different corners of the globe with New Zealander Vanessa Murray and Rebecca Nash out of the United Kingdom. So, Nathan, this is a team to be reckoned with. BL13, we saw it on the men's side, the women doing the same thing. There's a team called Level Up. It's a phrase that's become quite popular. Well, that's exactly what these women are doing out here as BL13 is looking to have. These are the kind of rides that programs build themselves on. These are the stepping stones that you're looking for, and they look fantastic. BL13 have been doing their work. You know, everybody needs a break in life, and when you do catch that break, if it can happen at the right time, it can change everything. And let's see what BL13 can pull off out here today. Harriet, Vanessa, Becca, Iris, Laura, and Jill in full effect. I mean, it doesn't get much better than what they're showing us right now, Nathan.
No, it doesn't. They're keeping the time gap pretty solid here. As you see that 102, 103 on the right-hand side between them and WLC, they're not really letting it slip away from them. Now, the power is starting to ramp up, though, from WLC. I think they're saying enough is enough here at this point. They don't want to keep things too close. But now, Aeonian 1525, they've really turned things around. It was WLC leading well by 4 seconds. Now, through the flatter sections out there, though, David, into the aqueduct, Aeonian have really turned the heat on into the second half of this race as Verhaeren now takes over at the front.
Well, all right. So, I mean, Aeonian, we're back now with them. This is where we started in this broadcast. They're down to 11.5K to go. This is it all together? It is. They've got 6 riders here. So absolutely get on your companion app as I see some ride-ons coming their way. And that's always a nice little reprieve as we go over the top of the aqueduct right now. And interesting to see that Aeonian has opened up this kind of advantage. Is it going to be pacing schedule from Wahoo Lacole out here? Both of these teams have, you know, as much as experience as any teams in the sport.
Yeah, it's a good question. Dave, it's a great question because what we saw from Rose, Beast Mode presented by Rose was their team. This is when they turned the heat on. Was right here.
Exactly.
This was
Nathan.
The moment.
They went out so easy. Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at 30 seconds difference, right? That was brought back. So, I mean, what can we see amongst the women here? Will we see something similar? Laura Simnick now, the Zwift Academy finalist, now hitting the front for Wahoo Lacole at this point as they hit the aqueduct. Will they see a similar pace up over the top? We saw Verhaeren up into 6, even 7 watts per kilograms at the moment. Now Simnick now backing up to 5. Well, she's doing a solid 6. What kind of speeds can they carry in comparison is going to be the big question here.
How comparable, Nathan, are the S's to the intestines that we have on this course? The
totally
back part
different.
Of
totally different. Yeah, they don't roll at all.
Because the elevation.
The SEs rolls and rolls, and you punch over and punch over and punch over. The intestines is just drive the pace. It's just right. And hold on as best you possibly can. It's a really, really different experience, actually. Simnick dropping her team here a little bit here, Dave. They got to get it together. We see they can see some roll through speed, but again, the gap is opening out. Aeonian, they've come to play today.
It hasn't aired yet, but didn't Laura just compete in the Zwift Academy?
Yeah.
Right. So she's off of that kind of form right now as well. It's good enough that she's dropping the Wahoo Lacole team, which that says a lot about how good she is. Taking a look now at Wahoo Lacole, very familiar colors. Another one of the super squadrons that we've got out here. They've got everything back together. That was just a little blip on the radar as far as that moment there, as this team doesn't miss many steps, do they?
No, not at all. And it looks like they are going to be looking to try and bring back some time on Ionian, but it has gone out a little bit. Now, 6.5, big effort here from BL13. Like what I'm seeing actually from them. That's actually a higher watt per kilogram over the top here. If they can keep it together and roll through some speed, they're going to bring back time actually on WLC.
Well, it looks to me like Wahoo Cole has just about got this even again here. I have a feeling that was part of what happened there with Simonek gapping the team as they were going so hard at that point. She was setting a pace that was, if they had continued, they might have actually ridden their way into the lead, but unfortunately they couldn't hold her wheel, and it looks like they had to resettle in at a slightly lower caliber. This is BL13 that we're back with now, but I think Wahoo Cole is right on them as far as these splits go.
Yeah, this can be still pretty close, I think, between these
it's going to be really
ladies
close
out here today. Yeah. Now, Dave, interesting situation here. Because only 3 riders had shown, I think that's the reason why we're not getting a split from Coalition. Just as a heads up here, I am seeing Coalition out on course, but I have a feeling they didn't show with enough riders, but good on them for showing today. Top riders, Stephanie Sidlick, obviously very well known, and Nevin Paxman is here as well. Great to see their effort out here today, even though there was not enough for the start.
What's amazing to me about Stephanie Sidlick, who's a PhD, is that she still is able to make time to race even though they won't take points out of today. That's how committed she is to her fitness and this sport. Is that Stephanie there? If I remember correctly, we've always had her in Pittsburgh, but I think she might have just taken a new job, professorship, possibly, something along those, in academia. For sure. So very busy person who is out here racing today, but unfortunately for this team, Nathan, rules are rules. And at this level, you have to have a 4th rider to get a time.
Yeah, no, the only question is they may get, I'm not sure, they might get 15? Some points. Right. They might get something still.
I hope they do. I hope they do, that they get the last place points rather than a goose egg.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to get something out of the show up here today. Maybe half points or something along those lines, or perhaps, at least riding out the course with 3 riders. There used to be a rule that you could show up if you only had 3, but we'll have to wait and see how this plays out.
Right, I'm trying to remember what I do remember the rule that you're talking about, where they would make an exception for teams that showed up with 3, but that I don't think that was ZRL.
Yeah, it
level.
Must have been a WTRL.
Must have been, right.
Yeah.
This is I Race Like a Girl, and Meredith Kessler, the triathlete star out of Texas here, and a team that, actually, I've always felt like Carly Johan on this team. I've always felt like this team had a triathlon vibe to it. Not entirely, but there's definitely that energy.
Oh, yeah. They're mainly... I think maybe everyone on here may be. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone on the team is a triathlete, if I'm not mistaken. And maybe, but take a quick look here at the team as they get going out on. They get going on the second half of their course here. Meredith Kessler,
Kate Leigler looks like a mountain biker.
Yeah, good call there.
Part-time.
I want to know what kind of mountain bike that is.
Me too. So Maya Miller, sorry to interrupt you there, Nathan. Maya Miller there with the Infinite hat on. Infinite, a pretty cool drink out of Ohio, I believe. The well-known Amanda Wellnorf, real talented rider. And it looks like, I feel like she's in Wisconsin serving up a pint of beer there, or Seattle, maybe. But Amanda, good job out there. Carly Johan. Now, that's the only one that we can confirm as well. No, actually, Tamara Jewett as well. Looks like she's on her time trial bike, the Canadian there. But Carly Johan, Tamara Jewett, and then Kate Leigler. I can't read it, Nathan, on the mountain bike brand. It almost looks
we'll
like
see what
breezer.
I can bring in here. I'll see what I can bring in real quickly here. There she is. That is an S-Works, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's an S-Works.
Specialized.
Yeah, stump jumper most likely with the Roval wheels. I think my daughter has that exact bike, actually. I'm
really? Yeah,
sure.
That's a sick whip. Yeah.
So, let's take a quick look at the current standings as they are here. And it looks like Aeonian Aces, they're continuing on with their domination, 23-11, opening up that gap to WLC. BL13, where are they going to sit? We still also have Team Castelli out here with Columbi, Dave, and they currently are at a 16-15. Can they do something in the backhand half of this course to bring back some time on I Race Like a Girl? Only showing up with the 4 today, and interesting setups as well. Those are not the wheels we're looking for, I would think, for Bertoni. Baton here, perhaps a little bit of mistake. I've done this many a times. Maybe a little bit newer as far as the level goes too, and perhaps not having the equipment. That might be another question there.
You're being an equipment snob. I'm just kidding.
Level 8, Dave. Level 8 Zwifter. Definitely an equipment issue here. That's all that is. I mean, we're talking like literally first time in here. So
that's awesome. So literally, I mean, she's got no access to equipment. She's more than holding her own at this A-level race. She's clearly a racer, as you see, someone who's got real ability out here. So welcome to Zwift, first off. This is, oh boy, I want to get the pronunciation of that first name right, and I feel like I'm not going to, Nathan, so I'm just going to stick with Ms. Bertone for now, and we'll get it right for sure, because this is a rider we'll hear more of the Team Castelli squad. So yeah, that's the exact opposite of a deep dish wheel that she's got going there, but definitely rolling with a strong Team Castelli here.
Well,
let's see who else.
This Celine, I mean, she is one of the strongest riders that's come out of Italy. I mean, she is just a phenom in the back end of.
Yeah. Nathan, she has the highest number of any rider out here except Monali Keller, who's at 4.9, but 4.8 watts per kilo for her 20-minute power. So that's world class.
And she's definitely we've seen her in the recent ZGP just walking away at times. I mean, literally walking away from everyone. She has been a force to be reckoned with as of recently. So
really,
definitely
the top breakthrough star, because Lou Bates was already established as one of the biggest talents, but Columbi coming through, I would say, was the rookie of the year for Zwift Grand Prix.
Ooh, we got a little bit of separation here now, Dave. This is what was going on, I think, as well. Anabiani as well as Maramati here now. So they did show up with 6, actually. I thought perhaps it wasn't, but there is the team. Just a little bit of a gap, though, that ended up opening up. So 11 seconds here. That's not going to be brought back.
All right. So they've got, let's call it 8 kilometers of racing out here on Route Grand Vitesse. So we take a look at I was going to say all Italian squad, but is that a Hungarian flag?
Poland.
Poland. Oh, so I realize Poland is red and white. I thought maybe I was not seeing a green top. You know how Hungary is the green, white, and red, but just the way Belgium and Germany are the same colors but different directions.
100%.
Horizontal, vertical, what I'm trying to say. I made that way too confusing.
This is going to be Joanna Coleman. Made that way too. Level 28. Some newer, it seems like a couple of, this is a fresh team, right? Like, this is a team that's got maybe not quite as much of the experience, but a lot of the firepower here, I think, being led by Celine at this point.
Yeah, well, that's a really good place to start with a rider like Celine to build from. We'll hear more from Team Castelli, and they're in with the Zwift Grand Prix caliber field out here. Between Aeonian, I Race Like a Girl, the BL13, which is certainly, I mean, across the board, BL13 has come up a couple of levels on both the men's and the women's side. Let's take a look at the splits as we see them now. And it's not over, but looking good for the Aeonian Aces out here today. Is their split time at 18K is going to be a 23:11, and I've got them 17 seconds quicker than WLC, the Vitesse squad from Wahoo Lacole, BL13. Right there.
Jumping forward here
Taking a
just to
look
get some
out.
of the finishes as we can, as Vicky Whitelaw now takes over for Aeonian. It is going to be Daniel Estrate now to the front, 5.6. I think Aeonian just have timed their efforts, Dave, out here today. I am getting confirmation quickly about the timing of efforts and all of that we had talked about. I am being told by Christoph Thiem that actually our middle time during that men's race was just off, most likely. And that they didn't make up that 12 from that 12
is telling you that.
Yes, he's letting us know that it was just probably something in the back end API that just didn't grab the
So
time
it's not
correctly
a
at that
miracle.
moment. No, it was not a miracle ride. It was a very fast ride for the win, though.
So they were good the whole way. We had really the best way to put it is our data point had them much further back than they really were.
Oh, Dave. Luis Gallegos,
Holy
what is happening here?
Now, this is going to be, Elise is probably not as experienced with team, a big fan, clearly. But I don't know that she's done a lot of team time trials, and I think this is a learning moment for her, Nathan, because Elise is going to want to let the other riders back in her slipstream here. There's no point in riding solo off of the front. They all know that. So just a little hiccup here.
Yeah, and now backing off to 2.1 watts per kilogram as it looks like Langham looks to close this down. Yep, and it looks like it's going to be time to bring this back together. Now, this could cost them a little bit of time here, but I think they've solidified that second place that most likely not going to be a threat.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's a no harm, no foul, Nathan, because they weren't going to catch first and they probably weren't going to get caught. So let's just chalk that up as that's not exactly what you're looking for, and Elise will learn from that. This is how, when you're at this razor's edge, the very highest level, it takes a little bit of time, even for great athletes, to get this, the craft down.
Leads to the back now.
In a weird way, it's encouraging, Nathan, for a lot of folks to see that someone even as strong and talented as Elise Gallegos, it goes to show you that this is hard to do. When the teams are riding a team time trial well, it almost looks kind of easy. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, that's how you do it, right? But it's not easy. It's what you typically see is people all over the road, left, right, and center, just, marbles rolling all over the shop is basically what it looks like. So when they do have a slight hiccup at this level, it really stands out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And we do pretty much get the idea of where the results are going to be there with that A category. So let's jump across to the C's here, Dave, as had a question as to what things were going to be. The current standings, we'll get those across here as well in just a second. As the ladies, though, are out on course for our C category, EMEA West, and Crush Pod are crushing it looks like.
No surprise there. And I think, Nathan, there's two different Crush Pod teams out here, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Crush Pod Saga are in like a bright orange.
Oh, there we go.
Like they're orange and yellow.
Yep.
Yeah, and
sorry,
they're currently down in 8th.
Looking at the screen you had up. Yep. So there you have it. Crush Pod Verdandi is the fastest team out here today, and I think they've the top team so far this season with herd of Rockhopper Penguins sitting. Well, I'm trying to see where the real battle is, and it might be there between Galaxy Velocity sitting in third, about 14 seconds behind the herd of Rockhopper Penguins. So that's pretty close. They're coming into the final 4K of racing out here in France today. Swedish Swifter Jord in 5th because Team Italy Chat and Watt just coming through, putting up a really fast split there, Nathan, as they are only 20 seconds behind Crush Pod Verdandi now.
That's a nice time, actually. Good on them. As they look to challenge. Yeah. Where were they in the standings is going to be the question coming into this, because that might actually change things up a whole lot. Yeah, that's a pretty big jump here. 6th place is where they were sitting for that Team Italy Chat and Watt. So nicely done.
I'm in the chat part. You do the Watt part.
I'll work on that later tonight. I'm learning from them right now. Right. How I'm going to produce those watts later. But
how did Gabby's race go, by the way? Just someone asking.
Did Gabby just race? She just raced 3 in a row. She did the TTET, then she did a test of a Kieran race over on Indy Velo, and then she just did a race like a champ. So with the men, and took 8th place with some of the seventh place amongst some of the fastest. Hexagon won. So in the Amen. So she's going.
Give her my congrats. She's my hero for sure. So, all right, well, down to 2.3K for top team in the women's C's. That's who we're joining now, as this is the EMEAE.
We have a change up here. Our current leaders.
Chicas.
Whoa, what? The Chicas are in 7th place overall. What is going on? Big upset here today. If Crush Pod don't pull this off, I mean, Crush Pod tend to be unstoppable, Dave, usually, but something is happening. A little bit of a change up of the guard now at the front of this race. I like to see this coming from Iona, and here's Joe pushing on the front.
Aeonian tapping into some superpowers out there in the Stratoverse today, as this is an incredible ride from the Chicas. So we saw them in the A's winning. Can they pull it off here in the C's? It's going to be quite a run for their money, because it's an 8-second advantage they've got on Crush Pod Verdandi, and the bear has officially been poked. If you're looking at this from Crush Pod's perspective, Nathan, one of the top squads, especially in the C level, right? I mean, Crush Pod has been dominant. So let's see what can happen.
I mean, they
here.
show up and like win the TTT on Thursdays. I think every week for like the last 250. They have some of the highest numbers when it comes to participation across the board of WTRL or TTT. So I mean, Crush Pod, they are a mainstay of that, and Aeonian though they are as well. So, I mean, this is a good battle. But the thing is they were in 7th place coming into this. I mean, that's a pretty big jump.
Huge, Nathan. It's interesting because Aeonian is one of these teams that they're competitive at every level. You see them in the Grand Prix. You see them in all of the racing that we do. And it's A's, B's, C's, D's, you name it. Well, Crush Pod, this is their neighborhood. Right, you know, the women's C's. This is where they have been the one team wrecking crew consistently. So Aeonian kind of like encroaching into their territory right now, right? And these are the battles that we come to love on Zwift Community Live. This is the spirit. Let's take a look at Joe, Kaz, Layla, France, and Nina right now. This is going to be the Aeonian squad that we've got. This team is so professional on every level. We have just really, really been fans of what Aeonian is about.
Yeah, nice job here for Aeonian.
We've got Aeonian hats.
This is great. Yeah, right? We do. I love them. I absolutely love them as well, too. I've got some hanging out here. I use it specifically, one of my go-to. Now, the thing is here, Dave, 8 seconds, this is not said and done. They've got to hold on, really push to the line, and Crush Pod are going to feel the fire here at their heels, and they're going to be pushing everything they possibly can all the way to the line to try and take down this win. We've also got some other things going on here. Team Italy with Chat and Watt not too far off, as well as the Rockhoppers, though. Rockhoppers versus Italy now is a question, because it's only a 2-second difference between that Rockhopper team and the Chat and Watt team of Team Italy. So this is going to be the Rockies, the Rockhoppers here, with Katrine here on the front coming out of Germany.
I don't think you're old enough to remember Rockhopper bicycles, but that's not what we're talking about, Nathan.
I do actually remember those. That was a Specialized bicycle, wasn't it?
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Right, sure. Yeah. Stump jumpers, and Rockhopper was like the entry level.
Think I am? I'm just messing with How old is Nathan?
You're in your 20s, right?
Well, yeah, thank you. Exactly. Good job.
Right. Yeah. So Crush Pod is finished, Nathan. So I think we'll start watching for finishing time. Crush Pod also went out first.
It's when it gets good.
So I just wanted to give a heads up, though, that it's going to be a few minutes until we have a time for the Aeonian riders, because weren't they the 7th place team? So
yeah, it's going to be a little while. They're still a little ways behind. That's a good call. Yep. So we're going to have a little ways to go.
Hang in there. Yep.
Now, there's only 3 Rockhoppers. Oh, Dave, the Rockies, they're starting to get a little separation. This is really a tough spot, because it's the fourth rider across the line. Look at these heart rates, Dave. Oh, man.
At this point, we're almost there.
They brought it back together. They brought it back together. The unicorn.
Actually,
That's Scott. What is whoa? Big watts to the line. Nice job by Claire, Katrine, Freya, all pushing. Love to see it. Nicely done.
It's a Scottish unicorn. It's way cooler than regular unicorns, I gotta say.
I think it even had a Scottish flag as a part of it. I think. It's so great. Are there 2 Team Italys or is there only one? This is going to be Team Italy.
One.
There's one. Okay, well, here they are. This is the chat and Watt. And they're actually, when did they start is the question. So they were the 6th place team coming in. So they started 6th. The Ionian Chicas, did they start? No, where are the Chicas, though? They're not, there's got to be another Team Italy. Hold on a second.
I don't think so.
This is interesting. Well, looking through here and trying to get an idea. We'll keep an eye on this. SJZ Nord are there, Team Italy. Oh, they just caught a lot of teams. That's what it is. They're just riding so strong that they caught a lot of teams. They're just on a good day because they almost caught SZ. They passed Team NL. See, I was looking at the standings like, wait, where did they start? Where's everybody else that's supposed to be near them? They've almost caught 4th place. That's what's going on. They passed Team NL, and so we don't see Aeonian Chicas near them currently because they've gotten that kind of a distance or teams between them.
Boy, you remember, Nathan, you want to talk about improvements in esports, how the discussion about teams passing other teams and all of the negative energy around that is completely gone. You know, I mean, it's like the racing is so much cleaner here in 2024 when it comes to team time trials. That is really nice to see.
Yeah, the teams have done a really good job, actually, across the board.
It's just getting their acts together, right? That was sort of on the athletes.
Get your act together, guys. What's going on here? Listen, Dave Towle is letting you know you need to get your act together.
A confirmed national treasure, right? You know, come on.
Right? Send him some cookies. Dave's not happy about the situation.
Actually, I think we're looking for Swedish candies, Nathan.
Swedish candies, got it. All right.
Right.
Got it. Crush Pod, Verdande still holding on and ahead of the Rockhoppers.
Yeah. This is going to be good. This is going to be good.
How close is this here?
So the Chicas are the team I've got my eyes on. They're about 1.2K from the finish right now.
Yeah. Okay. And Team Italy, they're right there.
We'll know in about a minute.
Well, look at that. Here we go. We've got some results. And they're coming on in. 36.58. SC Jord, 37.07. Chica's there. Now, as you said, they're only 100 meters, according to this, ahead. 200 meters ahead. So if I go back, I should see Chica's pretty close here. Or maybe not. Oh, there they are. There they are. Here we go.
36.15 is the time to beat. 36.15.
Well, they're rounding the corners.
We saw some great racing today. If I was a spectator, I would go hang out there at that corner.
You'd walk out over there? How would you get there? Would you take one of those VWs? You took a VW bus. That's what came. Oh, okay.
Please, I'd ride an e-bike. You think I'm lazy? It's all right. Yeah. So the Aeonian squad here, we already chalked up a couple victories today. This has been the theme too, is getting your finish right. That's something you're going to want to practice on Thursdays at WTRL.
They almost caught Team Italy. Look at this. They've brought back so much time, actually. The Chicas are flying out here, Dave. Big kick to the line. Right. Layla, France, Kaz, Joe. Here we go. 4 is what counts. That was a nice little punch to the line from Layla, but it's going to be the rest of the Aeonian now. Coming across. Solid time.
Much quicker.
Team NL now coming on through.
20 seconds. So Aeonian again, Nathan. Aeonian just absolutely dominating out here today.
Look at that time.
Many different categories.
10 seconds. That's a big jump from them. Nicely done. If we, again, everybody, just as a reminder, they were currently in 7th place overall at 28 points. Tied across the board, though. That's a big jump. That's going to put them somewhere in that 3rd, 4th place. I would think, coming into this next one or so.
Yeah, I mean, if the rock hopping or Penguins finish third or fourth, yeah, I mean, they inside of the top four, maybe even third.
Wow. Big jump for the Chicas.
That's
Nice job to them. Big effort.
not bad, huh? To move up that much on the board, and we're only into the third week of racing. You went from, looking like podium contenders to having a shot to win the whole thing. And that's what team time trialing really, this is such a unique day during the season where there's some teams that really just don't do it all that much, and they pay a big price on this day.
Yeah, that's true. Now that would not be Crush Pod though. They just didn't seem to have their usual day, or Aeonian showed up to brawl, took the gloves off and said knockout here today, and
or a little of both on that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, good call. Well, I like the kit. Here coming from Crush Pod Saga, the second Crush Pod team we'll see finish out here today.
The kit gets a win for sure. Watch the Femmes too. So stoked for this summer. It's become the highlight for me, Nathan, is that week of racing. Man, it's just, July, to be honest, is the best month. Everything else pales in comparison.
100%. Well,
finishing strong here.
Nice finish.
So that's going to go close to 37 minutes when they put a final time up there, which will be good for top 5, 6 today. Not what they're looking for.
Let's chat about what happened here, Dave. As I look to try and find our final broadcast of the EMEA, let's see if we can get into it.
This was the A's.
This is the A's, and looks like they're all finished up. We'll get the rest of the C's as they finish across, and we'll get the B category in as well for the results.
Some of the biggest names and strongest racers in esports compete in this group, and the Aeonian Aces end up on top of the table and take another 20 points. So 2 wins and a second after 3 races of 6 this season. Wahoo Lakovi Tess welcoming back Zoe Langham to high-end racing, and they'll take a second place with the American Elise Gallegos out there today as well. It's going to be BL13 Rockettes pushing everybody to the line for a podium spot in third. I Raced Like a Girl ending up in fourth, and Team Castelli presented by Elite Women rounds out our top 5 in women's EMEAE Western 1. For the Bs, it's Aeonian Banditas on top of the table with Crush Pod Word taking second. Herd of Little Penguins in third today with Team NL Ladies B. The Lionhearted in fourth. It's Roca Corva Collective B in fifth. Bella Vella B in sixth. Synergy Smash found seventh. Socks for Watts Pizza Party in eighth. Galaxy Zenith ninth, and then Level Hornets. That's your top 10 for the women's Bs here in our Western 1. For the C's, again, Aeonian Chicas on top of the table. Crush Pod Verdandi second. Herd of Rockhopper Penguins in third. Team Italy Chattanwatt in fourth today. Galaxy Velocity in fifth. Crush Pod Saga sixth. Swedish Swifters Jord in seventh. Team NL Ladies C. That's the A team in eighth. WCC Dust Devils in ninth, and then Roca Corva Collective C.
That'll be a close one. Those two are still finishing up, and there was only a 5-second difference between those two, so we'll leave that one to finish up still, but I have a feeling it may end up that way. Well, Roca Corva actually were the team that I think that might stay that way. We'll have to wait and see. Now, the D's are still out there. This is how things are playing out for them, everybody, but we're going to jump across to our promised coverage. We're jumping in with the men in the EMEA Northern 1W.
Northern 1.
W here. So this is going to be the A's that we jumped in with just now. Familiar face here with the Beasts, Dave. Norrin on the front. That's a big name here with SZ.
Yeah, and that's a big team too. We've talked a lot today, Nathan, about experience, and Johan Norrin, along with Gustafsson, Bowden, and Frisk. But add Dernegard here, but they've got 4, don't they? I'm sorry. I'm just.
It's okay. No, it's okay. That is 4. Dave, 4. I mean, this is some serious firepower. Bjorklund, Dernegard, Frisk, and Norrin. Johan Norrin. I mean, across esports right now, this guy shows up. I mean, seriously, the kind of power I've seen this individual be putting out lately scares me. It literally scares me. This is one of the strongest riders in the world right now. Look at his heart rate, Dave. Look at this.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, yeah, Nathan, if you want to compare to stars like a Jasper Paradanes, maybe like this guy's got immense amount of talent, and I mean, could be with Zwift games coming up. He
He's a
could win.
fave. He's a fave. He's a big fave for sure.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
you put him amongst
Yeah.
all the top names for and I have a feeling he is all in for it. And when it comes to anywhere that you're looking to get into the professional scene, when it comes to esports right now, he is there.
Yep. So gold standard right in front of us here. So this group again. Welcome to the EMA Northern 1, as they're really down to the last push here. This group now quite a bit more racing for them out here, but the Swede's going to finish up.
These guys are the noobs.
Nana.
Literally, this is what their name is. Just so you know,
wonder if
Dave.
it means
I'm
the
not
same
just
thing
I'm not
in
just
Spanish.
calling them that just for the heck of it, Dave. Just so you know.
So yeah, no, I'm with you. So they have 10K to go out here for this. Oh, all Spanish except for Quintana. What is that flag? Is that Morocco? I'm gonna check.
Good question, actually. Oh,
Nathan and I used to do a lot of work around the flag, but not as much these days. I'll have to find this one. I apologize.
Oh, he's Palestine. I think it's
Palestine.
It may
Okay.
be a political
Yeah.
statement. Might be.
There we
I'm
go.
not positive
Yep.
about that, but
Understood.
yeah.
All
the
right.
front
So taking a look. Oh, I'm looking at 6. That's not a bad number at this point, Nathan. If you have made it through 15K and you've got 6 together, you're ahead of the curve. It might not be 6 together for long, though.
Yeah, guess the
really
route.
pushing.
Yeah, from the noobs here now. I'm looking to try and get some splits still, everybody, as we're waiting back into the 60s now. I think they were the last to go out. The current standings, I'll see if I can at least get those for everybody as we're waiting for some updates. I think it's the busy time. Everybody finishes their races. You know what they do, Dave?
Yep. Check results.
They head
on
on over
Zwift
to
Power.
Zwift Power.
I thought we weren't supposed to tell people, Nathan. I remember when we had
everything slows way down. So
I remember when we first started doing this together 4 years ago or so. At one point, you told me, "Hey, try not to mention that because every time we do it, that was the old days. But some things never change."
is this the right? These are the right guys, right? Yeah, this is the right guys. SC Balder, there they are. Dirty Beast, Mutant Z. This is the current standings for the A's.
Yeah, let's go ahead and run through it. After 2 races here of 6 this season, it's Swedish Swifters, the Balder. One of my favorite teams there on top of the table. Dirty Beasts in second, Mutant Z for third. It's really close here, though, with between Mutant Z and maybe unknown ESRT. They're tied at 34 points. Wahoo Lacole. And don't even worry about a count back at this point. It makes no difference. We've got so much racing ahead of us that these teams will sort it out on their own. The Wahoo Lacole A3 RO. They're sitting in 5th here with Restart presented by Alex Coe in 6th. Hexagon just 1 point ahead of the Renegade Rhinos there. So that's very close. ATG and I in 9th. And then it's Cryogen, the Valthorans in 10th. I wonder what Valthorans could possibly be referencing there. As we take a look, though, at the standings for our A's. For the B's, it's TFC, the Friday Criterion Bugatti. Very expensive team on top of the table. Wahoo Lacole Bandits on second. Wahoo Lacole Hooligans in for third. It's the Tenacious Rhinos there from the RR family in fourth. Team NLB, the Cannibalen, the Cannibals in fifth. Dirty Beast Alligators in sixth. Two guys in seventh. ATGNI, the Belogans in eighth. PTZ Ivo Oliveria in ninth, and then Sisu Racing Flamingo in 10th. That's where the B's stand now. C's, we've got Sisu Racing Haka in on top of the table. Coalition Vector second. PTZ Reese in third. R3RU2 in fourth. RWB, that's Rioters Without Borders, in Green Titans edition in fifth. Galaxy Force in sixth. Team Italy Eaton Watt. That's like Chatton Watt there in seventh. Jordan Hill Wheelers Cat C in eighth. Rafa RCC Clinchers in ninth. And then another RR team, the Rampaging Rhinos, there in 10th. And I want to go back and say it's Racers Without Borders for that Green Titans team. There in fifth, our friends from Ireland.
Yeah, and lastly, let's go ahead and just finish it out since we did cover the other ones here for this D category.
Thanks, Nathan. Green Lasers on top of the table. By the way, we did get all top 30 yesterday. As Team Italy Drinking Watt in second, Evo Bedlam in third, RWB Ice Dragons in fourth, ATGNI Delogans in fifth, Titanium D in sixth, are endangered. There's a lot of rhinos racing. Love to see that. Endangered rhinos in seventh, Atom Racing Team Muons in eighth, and then Draft Bitter rounds out our top nine. It's been a fun day so far, and we're down to it now. Our last race of this batch. We'll be back later today with our North American racing, but getting to cover all of these great European, I feel like it's a European time zone that we're covering here at this time of the day here.
Yeah,
Nathan?
It looks like there was a hiccup in the data, just as a heads up, everybody there, and we're only getting the 18-kilometer marker at this moment, just as a heads up. It is correct at the 18-kilometer marker, but that is all we're getting through. So Team Italy at a 25.56 in this C category as we jump across to them.
It helps build the suspense.
Yeah, there we go.
If you don't know previous splits, that's a new thing. Or you know what? We could have a premium feature where you can pay extra money and you get to see all the splits.
Yeah, the viewers will love that one, Dave.
Yeah, they sure will.
They're gonna be
that'll be very popular.
We'll make a lot of money there. Make a lot of money. Yeah. People are really wanting to know what their live splits are.
Splits. Yeah. No, you know what? I'll make a commitment. We'll continue to keep all splits free. That's our commitment to you, the viewer. Right, Nathan? There's no plans to charge.
I don't think oh my gosh. Free to the viewer. I don't know about free to us.
Free to the viewer.
Yeah, free to the viewer. Make sure they're all.
Well, let's put it this way. We'll be surprised when we see these times pop here. I guess you could go on historical knowledge, and but we'll get these guys home here. 8K to go at this point, or make it little under 8K to go. This certainly
it's hard to bring the narrative together. I'm trying to at this point, but the Rhinos are at the top, and they're at the bottom though currently on the league standings. So we don't really know how. It's like it's an interesting situation.
Doesn't stack up.
Yeah, so things are just kind of weird all together. Yeah. So we're trying to get everything.
Thank you for covering for me there. I was kind of wondering how I was going to sell that story.
It really is all over the place with the data currently the way it's come in. But the Rhinos, they get the shine on top for the moment, right? But I have a feeling things are going to have a big swap here as some of the other teams come on through. I don't even know if we're going to get the right results, actually, to be honest, because the data, I think, goes off of like what it sees live. So we might end up with something interesting here. So we're going to have to wait and see what Sisu does.
Is when you go log into your accounts and you see a number that is way too good to be true. And you realize, well, enjoy it for a moment, but odds are this will correct itself out here. But we really have had a great day. Team time trialing has always had its challenges in coverage, and a great job, Nathan, today of getting so much of this right for us. It's been really fun to watch some great racing. And
we got Sisu. They finished suddenly. There we go.
Okay. There you have it.
Boom, snap the fingers, and you don't really have to actually get any time checks, just so you know. You just finish, and then you're done. So
it's easier that way. You avoid all of the drama,
all the pain.
It's like Coalition we've got on screen now. They've just about to come into the marina here and finish up.
Oh my gosh!
This is where your getting tunnel vision at this point after an effort like this.
I'm just checking just to see if like what we are getting through it all here real quickly across any of these, and if we need to just say, hey, we'll talk to you later, everybody, because I think we're gonna get these C ones. It does look like it's gonna work out. We kind of are getting to that point. Yeah. It's the circus has begun.
Down,
everything. So coalition.
But we will be back later today. It's not over.
People like their over TV for time. They like their TV time, so I'm going to see what we can do here a little bit for them, and then we'll throw in the towel in just a minute. We need pain faces on those. We do. We really do. Daz Carter, he's coming in, letting us know how he thinks we should update the game. We're working on it.
So as you get closer to the finish, your face starts to deteriorate with pain.
Yeah, well, you know how they had that thing in workout mode where like the whole screen would just get really fuzzy kind of and like go dark,
like a tunnel
darker and you could just like blurry, you know? Well, I mean, instead we should just, I don't know, pain faces somehow. Yeah.
Thank you, Daz.
Thanks for the update there, Daz. I wanted oh, here we go. We are starting to get some results coming on in here. It looks like for the A, B, and C category across those. So we'll bring those in here. We'll get you to top 5.
Daz Carter, was Daz the founder of BL13?
It's a good question. I think him and a buddy were. Yeah. Now look at this. Guy. Maybe unknown. That's a solid ride. Is that right? Wow.
You know, I'm gonna hold on these.
Yeah, Nathan. Because where
something's not right.
Yeah, SZ is supposed to be there, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a couple things that tell me that we should hold on that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. When we don't have data, time trials just don't make any sense. It's just we can't like. We're just looking at avatars rolling around together, right? So.
Right. The original joke was, do you want the results now or do you want them correct? We can do whatever you
so, like. And as the data starts to go a little crazy there isn't really much to talk about. So we're going to have to say so sorry to the Northern EMEA Ws. But we will be back for the Americas later tonight. For America's East Women's, we will jump in with the A's and the C's, as well as for the men's, we will be in with the A's and the C's. The team time trial affords us a little bit more space to jump across and highlight everybody's racing. We'll be live with that at 6:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. This weekend, Canadian Nationals, if you didn't know, it is already scheduled. We do have all of the Z Racing for February scheduled as well on the YouTube channel. And the wrap will be live with episode number 81. And because we took last week off, there is a lot to talk about. So we will be coming at you with plenty more awesome esports chatter and Zwift chatter for sure. Dave, it's been a lot of fun. Team time trial days are good. And I like to see we're halfway through the season now. It's going to be interesting to see how these stories continue to play out in the Zwift Racing League for 2024.
Thank you, Nathan. We'll see you a little later.
100%. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you Americas just a few hours. As always, everyone, ride on.